Alright everybody, this is our first tree, and this one I might actually put in a different pot because I just realized this pot is basically just falling apart. So step one, take it out of this pot, get all the dirt I can off of it, maybe move some roots around, and then we'll get probably a little bit bigger pot from the basement and pot this thing as close to the surface as possible with some nice new soil. Alright, so I'm just going to go at this and get rid of all the old soil in here, and maybe some of the dead stuff on the bottom I might pick out of there while it's out, but we'll see how this one goes. Just give you a quick look at what we're working with here. Everything looks pretty good, pretty healthy. Not too root bound. I don't know if you can see what I was doing there, but I had to get these roots, which are wrapped all the way around the tree, untangled as much as I could. I did an okay job not damaging them, so again, if it was earlier on in the year, I probably would just cut those off, but because, you know, we're going into late summer here, I'm just going to leave them. This thing's going in a bigger pot anyways, so I'll try to leave them so, you know, they're off to this side, and that way when I go to repot it next time, hopefully they're not as tangled as they were this time, but we can deal with that then. Right now we're just trying to get down further on this trunk base here. Alright, I don't know if you can see it in there with the camera, but we pretty much found the root base. Right here, some pretty decent roots there. Unfortunately, it's a little bit closer to the top of the soil than I thought it would be. That's going to play into my design for sure, but it's not going to change my design completely. I still think I'm going to do what I wanted to do originally, so I'm going to see how far down I can get on these big roots with still leaving some fine roots, but it's not going to be much further than this, so. I'm going to go ahead and clip this off. It's all a completely dead branch. Alright everybody, I'm going to go rinse this off. I'm going to pause the camera, I'm going to go rinse this off, grab another pot from the basement, get this thing in a bigger pot, and then I'll come back and do the other one with you. But as you can see, we're down to some roots there. Hopefully you guys can see that out here. I know lighting's tough with the shade from the sun and stuff, but you can definitely see some good roots. So at least we have a cool looking base to deal with. It's not as tall as I was hoping it would be, but I can still work with it. So that's number one. Alright guys, real quick, so I usually use this big perlite sometimes, well not all the time, but sometimes in cases like this where I know I'm going to repot the plant again, and I got these big holes in the bottom. I want some really good drainage in the bottom, but something that still will hold some moisture. Put the big perlite in there, and then I just take the soil I just beat off that root base, put it right over the top of it. Alright? And kind of press it all together. Alright, this is familiar soil to the plant. It's all good soil, there's nothing wrong with it. And then I can fill the rest of it with my, you know, good bonsai mix. So that way I'm not just wasting soil in the bottom of the pot that most of these roots are probably never going to get to, because I am going to repot this thing anyways. We got some moisture retention in the bottom. We're not going to lose a lot of dirt. And familiar soil. And then on top of that, we get our nutrients and drainage from our good bonsai soil. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all potted up, and then I'll show you well, you're not going to be able to see much, but I'll show you what it looks like after. Alright everybody, So it's in its new pot. I just soaked it with some water. As you can see, it's sitting up much higher. You can actually see the root base in there. Sitting up pretty high in the pot. That's exactly what I want. You can see in there. But we're gonna let this situate itself, and this is gonna be one of the next trees that I do. So if you want to see this transformation, hit the subscribe button. And we'll probably be doing this in the next few days here. I'll get it posted as soon as I can. So